Hello, beautiful. Apologize for being late. Good Woch. What's a Shabbos? Shabbos Chazon. Start with myself, Baal Shem Kodesh. He said at one time, the Rebbe Reb Zusha asked Hakadosh Baruch Hu to give him the Yeshamaim like a Baal Shem Tov had. And he was planning to give it to him and he couldn't move from fear. And he couldn't take it. And he asked Hashem Baruch to take it away from him. And he asked Shemaim, how is it possible Hashem HaKadosh was able to withstand such a Shemaim? So they said that the body of the Baal Shem HaKadosh was very, very clean, was very clear to begin with, because his father gave birth to him. His father was practically 100 years old, like Yitzchak to Avraham Avinu. This is why he was able to withstand this kind of era. Yer Shemaim. We say that there are two types of yiras. There's yiras einish, when a person is afraid that he's going to do bad things, that it's inevitable that a person will be punished for that. So Rebbe Nosson spoke about that, and it's important thing to touch. Dafka tonight, during the 9 days, the Gemara speaks the whole chapter the whole thing in Maseches Gitin that speaks about the Chorbeis Hamikdash. The Gemara keeps on saying that, this is like a derivative, so it comes out of the notion of, had people looked into what could be the outcome of their action, those horrible disasters, calamities that came on Am Yisrael would not have happened. So, of course, everybody knows the mice of Kamtzan, Bar Kamtzan. And then Rabbi Akiva ben Kavutal, that was so frum and was so lowly by himself that altogether this brought about the Chorban Beis Hamikdash. Then there's another Maisa about, it said that Har HaMelech was a place that contained basically millions of people. They were all lost because of a hen and a rooster. That the hen and the rooster, the carriage of the princess of Rome was going on the way, and her people killed a rooster and a hen, so whatever it is, and the people over there they attacked the caravan, and they went and told Caesar, the Jews have rebelled against you, and millions of people died from that. We are constantly underestimating what it would take, what would be the outcome of what we do. Just a little bit, it's a big deal. I'll just do this, it's okay. I'll just read a book I'm not supposed to read. Oh, come on. You're reading it, you're watching it, whatever it is that you're doing, you shouldn't do it. So why do I do it? I have one eye closed on the consequences. The entire Churban Habayis is closing one's eyes to the consequences, giving in to, it's going to be all right. Says who? The Meraglim came back from Eretz Yisrael. Everybody started crying. Why has Hashem brought us here? The Meraglim, defamed Eretz Yisrael. Tells Moshe, okay, that's it. They're going to stay here for 40 years. They were crying all night for nothing. I'll make him cry. I'll give him a reason to cry. And that's just all the calamities, Eretz Yisrael all happen on Tisha B'Av. Kibbutz tells him, listen, now you're going to stay for 40 years. You didn't want to go to Israel, you're going to stay for 40 years. Everybody's going to die here. And your children are going to go to Eretz Yisrael. The next is, okay, well, now so we'll go in, we'll go. You can't go in anymore. They were defeated. Why don't you think about it the day before? Because the day before, we thought that we can get away with it. Not a big deal. We were into saying what everybody else is saying, and the people, the masses, sort of like there's a different kind of dumbing down that people do when they are as part of the crowd. They become dumb. They become almost like feminine. And whatever it is you say has to reach the dumbest of them all. And they can all adopt idiotic opinions. Because everybody does. Everybody does it. It's like that's what everybody says. If I'm going to think on my own, then I'm not going to be part of the crowd. I'm going to be ostracized. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter. It's not just something that happens when a person is part of the crowd. It's also something that happens as part of life. It also says there's nothing more certain than leaving this world. And there's nothing that people push away and ignore and don't look at, take chances with, as leaving this world. Somehow it's not part of the calculations. Yir Shemaim means that the existence of Hashem is palpable. And before the existence of Hashem is palpable, you depend on Emunah, just Emunah. We have to bridge. And the way that we can bridge, specifically the presence of HaKadosh Baruch Hu from where we are, which is a state of basic blindness, from there to Beis HaMikdash, is through the Avelos that we do. The union of Avelos, the union of mourning Beis HaMikdash, is actually an expression of connection. How does a person who has despaired, how does he look like? He doesn't look like sitting down sobbing. Obviously, he's not laughing. The face of someone that has despaired is just straight-faced. Not smiling, but not crying either. Why? Because I've given up. When I've given up, it means that I've severed my connection with that thing that I'm lamenting about. Come on, that's life, you got to move on. Yir Shemaim comes from that. Yir Shemaim comes from yearning and lamenting the severing of the connection between us and HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Okay, I really need to open up the Likutei Tfilos and, say some tefillos about Chorban Samikdash, and maybe I'll look for some. When a person just feels the emptiness, people are apt to see all kinds of programs But Tisha B'Av is very good, of course, because they want to be connected to Tisha B'Av and Beis Hamikdash and their heritage. But together with it, they want to be distracted. So by looking at an online program, even one that shows you the Horvis Abayis and animated, whatever it is, it's very good. It's better than, having nothing to do with it altogether. But if a person really wants to be misabel on Churban Abayis without waking up Chatzos every night, if a person wake up Chatzos and a man for Beis Hamikdash every night, Tisha B'Av, he's going to wash the floor with his tears, guaranteed. But if a person doesn't do that, by the time the person comes to Tisha B'Av, it's very rare that a person will actually burst out crying, unless is very sensitive or whatever. A person wants to feel the Churban Beis Hamikdash on Tisha B'Av, and the days that are leading to Tisha B'Av, especially in Tisha B'Av, a person should sit there with a Kodesh Baruch Hu, on a low stool, and say and do nothing. Just contemplate. Don't run anywhere. Be present. The air is palpable. The air is literally palpable. The Velas. All you need to do is just sit back. Allow the distractions to leave. Be here. Just be here. Just be here. Be present. You'll feel it. The emptiness. Every emptiness has different vibe. When a person goes to make his vedus, the emptiness is one that is pregnant with possibilities, pregnant with hope. And I just have to go through this wall of blindness to connect with my beloved, with the Kodesh Baruch Hu. During the 9 days, if you allow yourself to be quiet and to be present, you'll notice that the emptiness is biting, it is gnawing, it is tearing your flesh off you. It's a bitter, bitter emptiness. Running away from it means running to despair. How's it going to work out? I don't know, whatever. I read a book, I watch a movie, I don't know, whatever, each one according to. As long as I'm not present. Because when I'm present, I hear and I feel the vibrations. What is actually going on? Beis Hamikdash, the Churban Beis Hamikdash, the basic thing, the thing we're actually lamenting more than anything else, the basic of is just called einayim, it's called eyes. Each one of the months, corresponds to a different part of the face, different part of the body, and the month of Tammuz corresponds to the right eye, the month of Elul corresponds to the left eye. It's all of the months of the summer where you really have to guard one has to really guard one's eyes, stay away from looking at things one shouldn't. Beis Hamikdash was the eyes, and the eyes are when a person basically can look into himself. That's what eyes are for. Eyes are not for looking out. Eyes are for looking in. Where am I holding as far as meters go? What am I doing with my time? What's going on with me? When there's no Beis Hamikdash, when the true tzaddik is not around, which is one and the same, people are basically blinded, they're coarsened, they're desensitized. I want to take a quick look at the Sichos Haran for tonight. It has very short, it has to do with it's a Sicha 190. Rabbeinu says that quite a few times he has imagined to himself all this inyanim of death, as if he's actually dead, until he mamish felt the taste of death. And I also heard that he said that when he was very young, he would picture in his own mind his own death, how people are going to mourn for him. And he was imagining for himself all this inyanim of passing away. And he said it's a big malacha, to imagine it in details. This is it. This is the inyanim of the 9 days. But Nosson said, I can imagine anything except the first Shalom Aleichem in the grave. I cannot imagine that. What's it going to be? A field mouse? A cockroach? What's it going to be? The first Shalom Aleichem in the grave. Quiet, presence, stillness. When a person is still, when a person is quiet, when a person is present, a person can be aware. Now is the time to quieten down and to be present. We're missing our eyes, and it's not necessarily a good thing. That which we refuse to look at doesn't mean that it is not vital. That ignoring it is not done at our own peril. It's very difficult to speak at this time. This emptiness, this breathness. But we see the biggest words of chizuk, dafka, in Megillah Eicha. Hashem kilotam rachamov, dafka Megillah Eicha. Because it is in the lamentation of where's Beis Hamikdash, where's the Kadosh Baruch Hu, where's the Shechina, where are we, that we are creating a bond that will never be severed. That which you lament and mourn will forever be a part of you. That's why, that there's a xera for anybody who passed away to finally sort of like leave your consciousness, to be forgotten, because otherwise life would be impossible. Gemara says people would stuff their parents and leave it in the living room because they can't say goodbye to them. Like taxidermy. As I said, Yeshemai means that you pay attention to what's going on, to the consequences of what it is that you do. That there are consequences and act on them. Not to be glib, not to be, okay, none of that. V'achai yiten liboy, and the living should bring that knowledge into one's heart. I want to wish all of us the Geula Shlem, the Mashiach Tzidkenu. Very hard. I apologize. It's at Hashem. We'll probably talk more about it as the week goes by. The Kutam Haran, the Kutam Haran Shir has been moved up from Thursday to Tuesday night. It's Hashem. Hashem will speak with Hashem about Tisha B'Av, but more. Should have a good voch and all the very best to all of us in Klal Yisrael. The entire world needs it.